Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing a news and stuff video. It's obviously been quite a while since I have done one of these, so I'm excited to be dipping my toes back into it. I'm obviously not going to be able to cover all of the news that happened in the last 6 months, but I am going to cover some of the things that I'm most excited about and definitely the most recent news. Before I get into the video, you might notice that I decided to dye my hair red. It didn't come out as red as I wanted it to, but this is like a first step in the right direction. So I think my aunt is going to help me like try to color correct and make it more of like the vibrant color that I'm going for. In the sunlight, it does look more red than I think it does when I'm inside. So hope you like the new hair. Okay, so on to the news. First, we got the cover reveal for Chain of Thorns, and it is absolutely beautiful. I really, really love this cover. Simon Teen actually sent me a blanket with the cover on it, and I got to post it on the day that the cover was revealed, which was really, really exciting. I cannot wait for this book to come out. And this book also actually has two covers. So there's the initial cover, and then you can actually flip your cover around so that you can have a different cover. So this is that other cover. We also got a cover for The Stolen Heir by Holly Black, and this is the like spin-off to the Folk of the Air series following one of the characters from there. Don't know if I should say who because it might be kind of a spoiler, but I basically dreamed about Holly Black writing this book since before it was ever announced. Like as soon as I finished the Folk of the Air series, I was like, I need a book about this character. Then we got the cover reveal for The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten. This is a new fantasy series that she's going to be writing, and I really like this cover. I think it's really beautiful, and I'm really hoping that Illumicrate or Fairy Loot will do a special edition of this book. Then I have some acquisition news. So Orbit actually acquired the rights to Amanda Foody's newest novel. It's going to be her debut adult fantasy novel, and it sounds really good. It's called The Whisper Between Worlds, and it's a portal fantasy. It involves a magical lighthouse at the end of the world that guides voyagers and maintains balance in the universe, but one day the master of the lighthouse goes missing, and his young and experienced assistant is the one that has to take over and try to figure out what happened before the world starts falling apart. We also got a cover for In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I can't wait to read this book. I really love this cover as well, and I'm also really hoping that Illumicrate will do a special edition of this one to match the editions that they did of The House in the Cerulean Sea and Under the Whispering Door. Couldn't think of the name of that one for a second. We also got a cover for A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. This is the second book in the Elements of Cadence duology, so this will actually complete the duology. The first book came out in January of this year, so not too long of a wait, and it's been getting really good reviews. I believe it's like a Scottish kind of fantasy. It really does look very beautiful. Then we got a cover for Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Alex Stern series. I am not a fan of this cover. Like, it's definitely creepy. It definitely gets like the message across, but like looking at it, I'm like, that's not one that I really want to own. Then a much cuter cover, we got the cover for Well Traveled by Jen DeLuca. I love this series so much. It's the Ren Fair romance series. It's my favorite romance series of all time, and I'm so excited for the next book. We also got a cover for A Duel with the Vampire Lord by Elise Kova. This is the third book in the Married to Magic series. I believe it's a trilogy, so this should be the final book, though each book in the series is a companion novel, so I don't know about the third one, but definitely the second one says like you can start reading with this book if you want, or you can start with the first one. It doesn't matter, like either one and it'll be fine. So I imagine that this one is kind of the same way, but the cover, very enticing. We also got a cover for Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sue Lynn Tan. We got both the US cover and the UK cover, and this is the second book in the Celestial Kingdoms duology, so this will complete the series as well, and this one comes after Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which I read the end of last year and really enjoyed. Then some more book acquisition news. So Flatiron has acquired the rights to Melissa Albert's next book. It's called The Bad Ones, and it's a contemporary fantasy novel that takes place in a suburban town, and 4 seemingly unconnected people all disappear on the same night. So one of the people starts trying to investigate and see what happened, and then uncovers this whole like shadowed past about this town that they're living in, and somehow connected to some goddess folk figure. We also got a cover for Lies We Signed to the Sea by Sarah Underwood, and this is one of the few times that I actually like the US cover better than the UK cover, and it's even more rare because the US cover is a dark cover and the UK cover is a white cover, and I usually tend to like the light white covers better, but I just think that the imagery and like the topography really pops more on the dark one. This is a debut sapphic reimagining of Greek mythology. Then we have the cover for Cursed by Marissa Meyer. I think this cover is so creepy looking, and it really makes me want to read the first book in the series, which I believe is either called Gild or Gilded. Oh no, you know what? It's Gilded. I'm thinking of Raven Kennedy's books. I want to read that series too, but haven't picked this one up yet, but this second cover like really makes me want to. Then we have the cover for Pretty Dead Queens by Alexa Dunn. I really liked her first YA thriller, and I'm really looking forward to reading the next one. Then we have the cover for Strike the Zither by Joan He, and this cover is just so striking. I'm really liking this type of Asian illustration style. I think it's just gorgeous. Then we got a cover for Suburban Hell by Maureen Kilmer, and just love this cover so much. I think it is so much fun. This is an adult horror / humor novel, and I'm definitely going to be giving it a shot. Then we got a cover for The Fairy Bargain of Prospect Hill by Rowena Miller. Pretty much anything involving fairy bargains I am in, so I'll definitely be reading this one. And then some more book acquisition news. Alison Saft's next novel, A Fragile Enchantment, is going to be coming out from Wednesday Books, and this one is a Bridgerton-inspired fantasy. It follows a dressmaker who's commissioned to design the prince's wardrobe for his upcoming wedding, but then she becomes embroiled in scandal when one of the gossip columnists points out the chemistry between the seamstress and the prince. Now I have a whole section on special editions, which is really exciting. So first and foremost, Orbit is finally releasing all of the Witcher books in hardcover, and I can't wait to get these. They're actually being released in the UK, and they're being published by Gollancz. I think the cover art for the first 2, which we have so far, Blood of Elves and A Time of Contempt, gorgeous. Like this is what I wanted for Witcher book covers, and I'm so glad that I haven't gotten any of the other ones because these are definitely the ones that I'm going to have on my shelves. And then speaking of Orbit and The Witcher, they're also going to be releasing an illustrated edition of the second book of short stories. So this one will match The Last Wish, which we got, it was last year. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. I think it was last year though. So Sword of Destiny looks like it's going to have a blue spine, and it has Yennefer on the cover. Then we got a better look at the upcoming special edition of The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. This one is designed in the same vein as the beautiful, beautiful Lord of the Rings edition that we got last year. This one we definitely got last year, I remember that. But I really like this color scheme. It's like a navy and these lime green pages, and I really love that they have like the Elvish sprayed on them. So beautiful. Then we got to see the secret covers for The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. These are being released only on the first edition printings of The Ballad of Never After, the hardcovers in the UK. So if you want one of those, you have to pre-order it. I pre-ordered mine from Waterstones. I also pre-ordered many other copies, which I'll talk about now. The next one being the Owl Crate copy. And this one is really pretty, has like a purpley kind of spine and a white cover, really like it. And this one will also probably have some kind of secret cover, judging by the last one that they did. Then I'm saving the best for last, the Fairy Loot edition of The Ballad of Never After. Oh my gosh, I'm just in love with this one. The sprayed pages are incredibly stunning. I need this one like tomorrow. Actually, I didn't have it in my list of notes, but Barnes & Noble also did a special edition of The Ballad of Never After, and those ones are signed too. So if you're looking for a signed copy, you're going to want to get the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. Then Fairy Loot announced that they're going to be doing a special edition for The River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty. I believe it's a book of short stories that's connected to the Daevabad trilogy. Really beautiful. I really wish that Fairy Loot would re-release the first 3 books in the series. I believe they sold out in pre-sale when they did the initial run, and I was not a subscriber back then, so unfortunately I missed out on them, and they're like $800 on eBay, which is just insane. Fairy Loot's also going to be doing an edition of Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sue Lin Tan. This one matches the edition that they did of Daughter of the Moon Goddess, but it's much brighter colors, really, really pretty. They just always do such a phenomenal job with their books. FairyLoot is also going to be releasing a special edition set of Roshani Chakshi's The Gilded Wolves trilogy. I really like the pages on these ones, and I really, really like how like fancy and like really just like pretty the covers are. Another FairyLoot one. So FairyLoot also started doing what they're calling Mortal editions, and those are special editions of contemporary books. So one of the first ones that they announced is that they're going to be doing special editions of Jennifer Lynn Barnes's The Inheritance Game series. I really like these. This edition is just like so nice. They look like very old books and they're so pretty. I'm definitely going to be ordering these. I really like this series. Then Illumicrate announced that their book of the month for August is going to be Babel by R.F. Kuang. I can't wait to see what they do with this one, but there's definitely going to be lots of foiling on it, knowing Illumicrate. And Illumicrate also announced that for their Afterlight subscription, which is their special edition romance books, they're going to be doing Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood for their August book, which I'm excited about because I have their edition of Love Hypothesis and it's gorgeous and I'm so excited to have something to match it. Now moving into adaptation news. So starting on a low note, I was devastated to hear that Peacock is not going to be moving forward with their adaptation of the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. This is one of my favorite fantasy series ever. I still have to read the last book, but even just reading the first two, like it's one of my favorite series ever. I really hope that somebody else will pick it up and adapt it. Fonda Lee said they're going to be shopping the project elsewhere, so good luck. Then back to happy news. We got a release date for Vampire Academy, which is going to be coming out on Peacock on September 15th. I missed this series so much. I binge read the entire thing in a month and I am now currently reading the Bloodline series, and I think I'm going to need to read Rochelle Mead's adult vampire series too because I just cannot get enough of her characters. Then we found out that we're going to be getting 3 new animated films in the Avatar: The Last Airbender world. We found out that they're going to be released in theaters, and we also recently found out the topics of them. So the first film is going to be based on Kyoshi, which will be a prequel film. The second one's going to be based on Zuko, which will be set in like, I think probably like just after Avatar: The Last Airbender, if I had to guess. And then the third one is going to be based on Korra. And we're going to get one a year starting in 2024. So Kyoshi will be 2024, Zuko 2025, and Korra 2026. I'm really, really hoping that they're going to adapt FC's Kyoshi books because they're so good. Then we found out that Hocus Pocus 2 is coming to Disney Plus on September 30th, and I am so ready. The teaser trailer looked so good. We're following a new generation of kids who are getting into witchcraft and accidentally raising the Sanderson sisters. Then, really exciting, we found out that Tracy Deon's Legendborn series is going to be adapted by Felicia Henderson, and Felicia Henderson is the current showrunner of the First Kill series on Netflix, which is the adaptation of Victoria Schwab's short story. And I'm really liking that. So I feel very confident that she's going to do a great job with Legendborn. Then I just thought this was so cool, but Jim Henson's Creature Shop is actually going to be making life-size puppet versions of Totoro and Cat Bus. There's a British stage adaptation of My Neighbor Totoro that is happening, and that's what they're creating them for. And I'm so jealous of everyone who lives there and is going to be able to go and see this production. Next, ABC is going to be giving Beauty and the Beast a 2-hour anniversary special. This is going to be to celebrate the 30th year anniversary of Beauty and the Beast, and it's going to be part animation and part live action. No casting news has been announced yet, but it's going to premiere on ABC on December 15th at 8 p.m. and then it should be on Disney Plus the following day. And then 2 things that are like kind of older news, but I really feel like I should mention them here. So the first one is that The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins is getting an adaptation. I didn't really love this book, but I'm obviously going to see the movie. Francis Lawrence is coming back to direct. He directed the last 3 Hunger Games films, and we'll see how it goes. We got a little teaser trailer at the MTV Movie Awards, and I believe it's scheduled for release November 23rd, 2023. And same goes for Percy Jackson, so this is like a little bit of older news, but again, I really feel like I should mention it here. This series is going to be on Disney Plus, and Rick Riordan has announced that the first season is going to be 8 episodes. I believe that they're completed with at least writing the first 4. There's no release date announced yet, but we do know that production is underway, so It's only a matter of time. Then the Duffer Brothers, who did Stranger Things, announced a new production shingle, which is basically like a small production company that is part of a larger production company. It's called Upside Down Pictures, and they're currently working on the 5th and final season of Stranger Things, but they also announced a couple of other projects. So they're working on a Stranger Things spin-off, and they're also working on a Stranger Things stage adaptation, as well as an adaptation of Stephen King's book, The Talisman. They're also going to be doing an adaptation of Death Note, which I really hope that someone finally makes like a really good Death Note adaptation. I feel like we need it. Like, Death Note has been adapted so many times and the anime is great, but I have yet to see like a good live action Death Note adaptation. It just hasn't happened. And then lastly, Ben Aronovich's Rivers of London series is set to get a TV adaptation. It was originally supposed to be adapted by Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, but it fell through. So Ben has actually started his own production company. So it seems like pretty likely that the adaptation will happen this time. And he's also announced that it's not only going to adapt the 9 books that make up the book series, but it's also going to delve into the short stories, novellas, and graphic novels. So that is everything that I have to share today. Let me know anything that you're looking forward to. Maybe there are some things that I didn't include. Maybe I don't even know about them myself. I'm just getting back into the swing of like keeping track of all of my book news so that I can compile it for these videos. But yeah, that's everything that I have for today. So let me know what you're most looking forward to, and I will talk to you guys soon and see you in a new video. Bye!